Yasodhananda Raja Janaranjana Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manopistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kada Mahyam Dadati Shlopadam Tikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utpadakamalam Shri Guru Vishnu Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunath Vinantam Tam Sahajivi Sadhvetam Shavadutam Parijana Sritam Krishna Chaitanya Shri Radha Krishna Paramahංsa Shri Krishna He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavan Vrishabhanusude Pranamami Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pujarne Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Pashyata Deshatari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Ye dese base Gaurangi Ragana Urdhva Bahukari Vandan Sabira Charana Sri Guruve Gaurachandraya Sai Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namah Yam Pravanjam Tamanupe Tupeta Krityam Tvipayano Virhakataraya Jiva Putreti Tanamayataya Taravo Bhinedu Tam Vyasasunam Payami Guru Munina Tam Vyasasunam Payami Guru Munina Yam Swanbhavam Akhilam Shruti Saramekam Adhyatma Deepamatitir Satam Tamo Andham Samsarinam Karunaya Purana Guhyam Tam Sarvarida Sadayam Munimanato Asmi Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanam Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. I think this is first time in my entire Krishna conscious career where I'm sitting on a throne like this way. I'm not considering myself really qualified and I cannot present that, but my lips are drying right now because I don't have practice of speaking like this way. And I'm very fallen actually. Representing the mood of Surdas ji, he sing very nice bhajan. So many bhajans he wrote. but one Hindi version really reflecting my position right now. It's in Hindi. He says, मौसम कौन कुटिल खल कामी जिन प्रभु देह दियो उस विसराई जिन प्रभु देह दियो उस विसराई ऐसा में नमक हरामी ऐसा में नमक हरामी मौसम कौन कुटिल खल कामी भर भर उदर भर भर उदर विषय वासना भर भर उदर विषय वासना ऐसा सुकर ग्रामी ऐसा सुकर ग्रामी मौसम कौन कुटिल खल कामी. In his pad, he is presenting this mood. It is not true for him, but it is absolutely true for me. He says, Mausam kaun kutil khal kaami. There is no one Mausam, there is no one who is more degraded and dreadful person than me. Jina Prabhu Deh Dio. I'm sorry. He said that the Prabhu who gave me this body, Visratamai, I forgot that Prabhu. And what I'm doing? Bhara bhara udara. I'm simply eating full of my belly and pressing my genital for the sex life. This is who I am, he said. I'm sorry, but this is not his mood, but this is true for me. I cannot speak right now, but somebody forced me to sit here. Then Radharani. She is Jagat Janani, Tribhuvan Sundari. But a niche person like me cannot speak on her. Whatever I will speak, whatever I will attempt, that will be a seeker. Seeker meaning, I'm sorry. Oh, Krishna. Seeker meaning when you take one grass and dip it in the water and just sprinkle it in the air. Whatever water drops comes out, take the smallest water drops and divide it 10,000 times. Whatever smallest of small it you get, that is called seeker. So my knowledge is like a seeker. And when it's come to talk on Radharani, I'm absolutely niche person. I cannot speak because my Gurudev used to say that those who are struggling for sense gratification, they cannot appreciate Srimati Radharani. So when we talk about Radharani, when we talk about Krishna, we should not be in a sky. We should be very much in a ground because Srila Prabhupada always taught us to remain on the ground. So I'll try to attempt, and if I commit some mistake, please accept me as a foolish person. Let's start. So hour and a half, or yeah, up to 10 I have time to speak. Krishna willing, Radharani desire, will speak as much as we can. So three things, I'll segregate it out in the three parts. One, will try to attempt to speak on Radha Tattva. Second is her pastime, and the third one is linking it with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we'll start with the Tattva. So for a Tattva in Adi Lila Chaitanya Charitamrita chapter 3117, text number, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is very clear about it. He says, Siddhanta baliya chitte no karo alas, iha haite sudrir manas, iha haite Krishna lage sudrida manas. He said, do not show laziness when it's come to understand Tattva. Why? Because when you understand Tattva, then only you can understand and appreciate Krishna as a person and his internal potency. So Radha Tattva, when it's come to speak on Radharani, even Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and all our Acharya, they put their weapon down. So I cannot attempt this, but whatever I heard from Gurujans, whatever I heard, I did. I will try to present it here as it is. So please repeat after me. Bhajami Radham Aravinda Netram Smarami Radham Madhura Smitasyam Vadami Radham Karuna Bharadram Tato Mamanyastigati Nakapi. I worship Radha, who has lotus eyes. I remember Radha, who has a sweet smile, and I speak of Radha, who is melted with compassion. There is nothing else for me. She is my life and soul. So this is the take on all of our Acharya, not only Raghunath Das Goswami, but Rup Goswami, Jiv Goswami, entire our Guru Sishya Parampara, our Acharyagan. They always appreciate Srimati Radharani as topmost highest tattva and topmost highest personality, even above Krishna. And we'll try to prove here from the basis from the pages of scriptures. So these two personality, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Prabhupada, they are the two great personalities on the planet who herald the importance and glory of Radharani on this globe. Before them, before they appeared, almost Radha and Krishna's the relationship either condemned by the society or not accepted. At bare minimum, people worship Lakshmi and Narayan, some Vishnu Tattva, but when it's come to Radha and Krishna, in society there was a time where people hesitate because not having proper understanding on Tattva, they consider Radha somebody as some cheap ordinary girl. But they are the two great personalities who herald the importance of Radha and Krishna's worship, and especially Srimati Radharani. So both of them are very strict when it's come to talk about Radharani. We all know that they always avoid speaking internal things of Radharani, and it is not also mean to speak on public platform. That's why I said we should not remain on a sky when we talk of Radha and Krishna. We should be very much on a ground. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj used to scold even his sannyasi disciple when he found somebody is reading Govind Lilamrit or somebody is reading some intimate books. He scolded even his sannyasi disciple because he said, "You are not qualified." He has very famous slogan. He says, "Deserve before you desire." He said to his all sannyasi disciples that deserve before you desire. So he said, don't just jump it like this in a air. And same thing, following footsteps of his Guru Dev Srila Prabhupada. He also did the same thing. He never speak publicly on Srimati Radharani, and bare minimum, we all know on a day of even Radhastami also, he speak either Krishna, bare little bit of Radharani, but he always avoids speaking internal details of Radharani. But at the same time, both of their mood is completely engrossed with Radharani. They hide from the society, but they filled with the mallow of Srimati Radharani and Radha Bhav. And they, as our Acharya, they always teach these things. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj used to say this thing that those who worship Krishna, they are Karshne. Those who worship Vishnu, they are Vaishnav. And those who worship Param Gauri, they are Gaudiya. So we as a Gaudiya Vaishnav, our first Aradhya, worshipable deity is Srimati Radha. First, we may have individual aspirations, other deities, and nothing wrong, but rules and regulation and constitutional position of our Sampradaya is Radharani. So today is her appearance day. So indeed, it's very auspicious day for all of us. Today is the day, if you observe with faith, it will bring lots of mangal in our bhajan, lots of mangal. So we'll proceed further. We'll try to understand Radha a little bit, whatever I know and whatever I read and heard. You probably all know, but I'll repeat because repeating is also very auspicious. So Krishna and Radha, one is Visay Vigra. Krishna is a Visay Vigra and Radharani is Asray Vigra. So Parameswarya Purna Sachidanand Param Brahma, Ras Raj Krishna, he is a Visay Vigra. And Krishna Prem Swarupini Radharani is a Asray Vigra. So any devotee who wants to approach Krishna, they take the shelter of Asray Vigra to worship the Visay Vigra. So it is necessary to understand first Krishna's aspects, and because Srila Prabhupada says that in order to understand any businessman, especially his internal affairs, first we need to understand he as a person, his external affairs, then only we can appreciate his internal affairs. So this is the verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita. कृष्णेरयनंत शक्ति ताते तीन प्रधान चित्त शक्ति माया शक्ति जीव शक्ति नाम. Krishna has unlimited potencies which can be divided into three main parts. These are the spiritual potency, the material potency, and the marginal potency, which is known as the living entities. So, Sarvagrahi, Sarvavyapakta, Sarvabhaumakta, Kripa, lots of, even scriptures cannot describe that many energies Krishna possesses. But Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, through the pages of Chaitanya Charitamrita, is presenting that if you want to understand, these three is the main aspect of Krishna's energy. So this is how we can we can lay it out. Krishna is a Purna Shakti Man, and he has a three aspect of his Shakti: Maya Shakti, Jiva Shakti, and Chit Shakti, which is also referred as Swarup Shakti. So we'll see first Maya Shakti. Quickly we'll go over all the threes. So for Maya Shakti, many places in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says 7.4, Bhumira Panalo Vayu, 7.5, Up Itastvo. Other than that, Bhumira Panalo Vayu, there is other energy which is spiritual energy. Krishna speaks, this is chapter 14. Sattam Rajas Tamaiti Gunaha Prakruti Sambhava Nibandanti Mahabhavo Dehe Dehinam Avyayam. 7.14 also Krishna says Mama Maya Duratyata. But that Maya, Tribir Guna. The Maya contained with Tribir Guna, that Maya is Duratyata. So in many verses, Krishna says that I have one energy called Maya, which is my external energy. So material nature consists of three moods: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, O mighty armed Arjun, he becomes conditioned by these moods. So this is how we can further segregate Maya Shakti. Maya Shakti has lots of other aspects like Bhumir, Up, and Nalavayu. They are the ingredients using which she always play her game. But these are the three works of our production house: Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, where she employ everybody in this world. So this is the main production house under which she function all her business. So please try to understand. First thing is, quickly go back here. Krishna, three parts: Maya Shakti, Jiva Shakti, Chitta Shakti. In a Maya Shakti, we have further three parts: the attributes of Maya Shakti, Sattva Gun, Raja Gun, and Tama. Further, the second part is Jiva Shakti. For Jiva Shakti, Srila Prabhupada wrote many things in so many purports, but one simple thing is Srimad Bhagavatam 1.10.10.2. Srila Prabhupada says the living entities are parts and parcel of the Lord. They are of two varieties, namely Nitya Mukta and Nitya Baddha. The Nitya Muktas are eternally liberated souls, and they are eternally engaged in the reciprocation of transcendental loving service with the Lord in his eternal abode, beyond the manifested mundane creations. But the Nitya Baddha, or eternally conditioned souls, are entrusted to his external energy Maya for rectification of their rebellious attitude towards the Supreme Father. So this is how we can further segregate the Jiva Shakti. Jiva Shakti has two further attributes: Nitya Baddha and Nitya Mukta. Nitya Mukt are, you will find them the other side of the Virja river. Nitya Baddha is the other east side of the Virja river. So one path and three path Vibhuti. So one path Vibhuti you will find Nitya Baddha, and three path Vibhuti will have Nitya Mukta. So, and who is representing this Jiva Shakti? We all, myself, you, all the living entities represent Jiva Shakti. Durga Devi represent Maya Shakti. So Durga Devi, ourselves, who is also referred as Tatastha Shakti and Marginal Shakti. So in Maya Shakti, it is referred as Bahiranga Shakti and external energy. This one is Tatastha Shakti, marginal energy. So now if you see the parts, Maya Shakti has three attributes, Jiva Shakti has two attributes. Further, and the third one is Chitta Shakti, very important for our discussion. So for a Chitta Shakti, we found text in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Antaranga Bahiranga Tatastha Kahiyar Antaranga Swarupa Shakti Sabara Upar Satchidananda Maya Krishna Swarup Ataiva Swarupa Shakti Hayati Naru. This is what the translation Srila Prabhupada mentioned. In other words, these are all potencies of God, internal, external, marginal. But the internal potency is the Lord's personal energy and stands over the other two. So now if we see three parts, Maya Shakti, Jeev Shakti and Swarup Shakti, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, chapter 8, this is a conversations between Rai Raman and Mahaprabhu. So he says, internal Shakti, which is Swarup Shakti, stand out, meaning the superior than to other Shaktis. I didn't get time actually, so I didn't able to give justice to this presentation. But in text of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, even he proved that Radharani's involvement in creation also, Radharani's involvement in all other Shaktis also, and he proved that how Radharani is superior in everything. But I don't have all these details here, but just try to understand that Swarup Shakti is stand out over the other two. So it's the greatest of all others. And he says, second translation, originally Lord Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha, the transcendental form of eternity, bliss and knowledge. Therefore, his personal potency, the internal potency, has three different forms. Now, we are going further little down of the Chit Shakti or Swarup Shakti. So again, I'm repeating Krishna as a Purna Shakti Man, Maya Shakti, external Bahiranga Shakti, Jeev Shakti, and third aspect is internal potency, which is Swarup Shakti. So let's see. About that further subcategory of Swarup Shakti, same chapter Madhya Lila says, Anand amse ahladini, sada amse sandhini, chid amse samvityare gnana karimani. Ahladini is his aspect of bliss, sandhini of eternal existence, and samvit of cognizance, meaning knowledge, which is also accepted as knowledge. So this is how we can further divide Chit Shakti. Three attributes of Chit Shakti: Sandhini Shakti, Samvit Shakti, and Ahladini Shakti. So, Maya Shakti is represented by Durga Devi, Jeev Shakti is represented by the all living entities, and Chit Shakti has further three divisions: Sandhini Shakti, Samvit Shakti, and Ahladini Shakti. Now, if we quickly touch upon these three things, Sandhini Shakti, Samvit Shakti, and Ahladini Shakti. Sandhini is represented by Balramji, Samvit is Krishna himself, and Ahladini is Srimati Radharani. So we'll see the text here. Again, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Kriya Shakti Pradhana Sankarsana Balaram Prakrutira Prakrutir Srishti Korena Nirman. Lord Sankarsan is Lord Balram. Being the predominator of the creative energy, he creates both the material and spiritual world. Later, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentioned that there is no question of spiritual world creation. It exists there, but just for the matter of fact in Tattva, says Balram is the one who is in charge to create everything. And that's why Balram is a representative of Samdhini Shakti. So please keep that main chart in your mind to understand Tattva where is necessary, how Krishna has three main aspects, further division of three aspects, and right now we are talking about Swarup Shakti, which has three further aspects: Sandhini, Samvit, and Ahladini. And in Sandhini Shakti, it's called eternal existential potency, which is represented by Sri Balramji. So anything that come into the existence, spiritual, material, everything is manifestation of Balramji. So this is Sandhini Shakti. Now, what is the proof that let's see, actually not open the beans much here. Ichha Shakti Pradhan Krishna, Ichhaya Sarva Karta, Gnana Shakti Pradhana Vasudeva Adhisthata. So this is further. The predominator of the willing potency is Lord Krishna. For by his supreme will, everything comes into existence. In willing, there is a need for knowledge, and that knowledge is expressed through Vasudeva. So now this is the second further type, Samvit Shakti, represented by Krishna himself. When I say Krishna himself, meaning Vasudeva Krishna. So Samvit Shakti is represented by Vasudeva Krishna, knowledge. So now further, Samvit Shakti, Chit Shakti, Swarup Shakti, three part, Samdhini, Samvit, Ahladini. Samdhini is represented by Balramji. Samvit is represented by Krishna, who is Vasudeva, feature of Krishna, not Nandanandan Krishna. This is second thing. And third thing, which is about now Srimati Radharani, in Thomas words, and very melodiously we can sing. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Rahladini Sakti Rasama Ekatmanamavapi Bhuvi Pura Deha Vedam Gatoto Chaitanakyam prakatam tadvayam chaikyamapatam Radha bhavatite suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. So if you see here, it says Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Ahladir Sakti. So Ahladini Sakti is represented by Srimati Radharani. So the loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestation of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, previously they separated themselves. Now these two same transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow down to him who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. So this is how we can divide. So Ahladini Sakti, which is pleasure potency, is Srimati Radharani. Now if you see the entire picture, this is how the entire picture look like. When we talk about Krishna and his energies or Krishna, the little bit, as I said, a seeker, this is very, very little bit. So Krishna, Purna Sakti Man, three aspects, Maya Sakti, Jiva Sakti, Chitta Sakti. Maya Sakti has further three attributes, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, Jiva Sakti, further two, Nitya Bad, Nitya Mukt. Chitta Sakti, Swarup Sakti has three attributes, Samdini, Samviti, Ahladini. Maya Sakti is represented by Durga Devi, Jiva Sakti is represented by all living entity, and Chit Sakti is represented by Krishna's aspects of expansion. Samdini is Balaram, Samvit is Krishna in a Vasudeva feature, and Ahladini is Srimati Radharani. This is a little bit overall picture of the Krishna Tattva. Now, if we overall divide these two things, then this is how we can divide this. So one part of Krishna's energy, which is called as material energy, predominated by Mahamaya. And another part is spiritual energy, predominated by Yogamaya. So those who Nitya Mukt, they are under the shelter of Yogamaya. Those who are Nitya Bad, they are under the shelter of Mahamaya. And Chaitanya Charitamrita says for Nitya Bad, because that reflects our position. It says, Kabu Sarga Uthai, Kabu Naraka Dubai, Raja Jana Danda Jana Nitya Chubai. Sometimes he uplifts on a sword, sometimes go down in a hell. Abrahma Bhuvana Loka, Punaravati. Again and again, coming back and down. So Nitya Bad are the people who are afflicted with one disease called Bhavarog. Under this rope, they have a habit to take birth again and again, die again and again. They would like to become old again and again, cut jokes, enjoy, and try to dominate over Maya Sakti. And the more and more they dominate, Nikatastha Maya Tare, Jhapatiya Tare. So this is what going on. So they are under shelter of Mahamaya. And here Nitya Mukti, who doesn't know anything other than Krishna, they are under the shelter of Yogamaya. So this is what the overall picture of Krishna Sakti or Krishna, a little bit Vishnu Tattva would say. Now, our topic is more on discussing this particular thing, Ahladini Sakti, this particular energy or particular attributes of Krishna, which is pleasure potency. This is very necessary to understand first. Why? Because if we not keep this picture in our mind, if we not understand, often it is seen that as a sadhak we commit blunder. Because when we talk of, first of all, we are not allowed to speak publicly on Radha and Krishna. And second thing, बिना बोले रह नहीं सकते, because that is life. That is life for a Gaudiya Vaishnava. So our acharyas are very careful, very peaceful, just like Sukdev Goswami, you see, in Bhagavatam. Sukdev Goswami, nobody mentions Radharani's name directly, but we know indirectly, the immensely under the curtain, itna bhar ke kitne verses hai ke directly reflecting Srimati Radharani. Canto 3rd, Canto 10th, even Canto 4th, we have names of Radharani, but in a hidden way. So what one thing we understand from the mood of Acharya is they want all of us to relish this, but at the same time they don't want this flare up on a public road, because this is not meant to discuss on a public platform. But at the same time, we cannot remain aloof without understanding and discussing, because we as a Gaudiya Vaishnava, especially this Ahladini Sakti, she is our Adhishtatri Devi, Tribhuvan Sundari. This is for all sadhak who is practicing under the line of Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. This particular aspect of Ahladini, she is our Adhishtatri Aradhyayist. She is our Devi, she is our worshipable deity, first worshipable deity. Personal inspiration we have Ramchandra, Narayan, Vishnu, Lakshmi, it's okay, Narsimha. But as far as constitutional law of our institute is concerned, our Adhishtatri Devi is Srimati Radharani. So let's move further and little bit touch upon that aspect of Krishna's Sakti. So for Srimati Radharani, further Chaitanya Charitamrita is the center actually. Kimba sarva Lakshmi Krishne sada vidha aishwarya tanradhisthatri shakti sarva shakti varya agata mohana Krishna tanhara mohini ataiva samastera parathakurani. This is the translation by Srila Prabhupada. Sarva Lakshmi indicates that she fully represents the six opulence of Krishna. Therefore, she is the supreme energy of Lord Krishna. So whatever so far we discuss, all the three categories and further 2 and 3 and 4 all categories, here Chaitanya Charitamrita is putting a blanket statement that leave aside all those energy. Srimati Radharani is the supreme energy of the Lord. So she is overruling entire aspect of Krishna's workshop. Entire aspects. Bhagwan Sri Hari, unke jitne bhi production plant is in this world, in that world, whatever offices, corporate buildings, whatever he has, she is the final co-signer. Who is giving this statement in Chaitanya Charitamrita? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Lord Krishna enchants the world. He is Madan Mohan, but Sri Radha enchants even him. Therefore, she is the supreme goddess of all. So now you see, very peacefully we are slowing towards making that Srimati Radharani dominate over all other aspects of Krishna and his energy. So Krishna has many multifarious energies, many multifarious attributes and things and like that. But Chaitanya Charitamrita says that Srimati Radharani is the Adhisthatri of each and every Shakti aspects, attributes and everything of Krishna. So Krishna is zero without Radharani. I should not speak in front of him, but it is reality. It is absolutely reality. वो कुछ नहीं है. He is completely zero without Srimati Radharani. We'll see. So Radha Purna Sakti Krishna Purna Sakti Man Dui Vastu Bhed Nahi Sastrera Praman Radha Krishna Iche Sada Eka Iswaru Leela Rasaya Swadite Dhare Duiru. How nice. Wonderfully. Sometimes I think that this verse singing is Bhagavatam class. It doesn't need any philosophy. Sri Radha is the full power and Lord Krishna is the possessor of the full power. The two are not different as evidenced by the revealed scriptures. Thus, Radha and Lord Krishna are one, yet they have taken two forms to enjoy the mellows of pastimes. So Srila Prabhupada says that one person cannot enjoy, just like I'm speaking, he said in lecture that if you're not here, I cannot enjoy. I need audience to get some pleasure. Same way for Krishna. But he's in, just like now in this world, we'll see further also. In this world, people say, why fall in love? I can't live without you. Krishna also says to Radharani like that. But the intensity and purity has a gulf of difference. Statements are still same because we are also part and parcel. So we also says to woman or woman says to man that, oh, I fall in love, I can't live, I can't imagine my life without you. And after 2 years, 3 years, they just have some kind of hangover and marry with someone else and all this thing is going on. But for Srimati Radharani, in Brahma Bhagavad Puran, she says that I bring few snippets here, but purposefully I didn't bring everything. She said that I cannot imagine my life without you. You are my Prananath, you are my beloved, I fall in love with you. Openly she says this. But again, we are not allowed to speak all this publicly. Anyway, so this is the reference in Adi Lila. So now if you see here, we explain all the attributes of Krishna and his energy. And now we are slowly moving that how Srimati Radharani is dominating on everything, whether it's a Maya Devi or Yoga Maya, who is attributes of Radharani only, or Sattva, Raja, Tama, or Nitya, whoever, Sambhidini, Samdhini, Sambhid, Srimati Radharani is the supreme fountainhead. Now, many times we heard that Radharani is the top of it, where it is written. So we'll see from the scriptures. So now based on this description that Srimati Radharani is dominating Krishna, and if you see carefully in previous statements, Lord Krishna is the possessor of full power and Srimati Radharani is full power. So Srimati Radharani is full power. How? She represents 6 opulences of Krishna. So all opulences of Krishna is represented by Srimati Radharani. So अगर opulences निकाल दो तो कृष्ण कुछ नहीं है. Why Bhagavan is Bhagavan? Bhagavanam iti Bhagavan. So from the one, or from Bhagavan, if you take that bug out, he's zero, isn't it? He's absolutely zero. So zero is becoming hero with Srimati Radharani, by the way, in its reality. And each and every sampradaya recognize this. Each and every sampradaya recognize. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur openly write that any new Sakhi enter in Golok Braj after getting Siddhadehi. Whenever she enters, her first service, imagine it that each and every gopi will tell that, oh, you came it first time here? Yes, yes. Or you should take the shelter of Radharani. They advertise like that. Why? Otherwise, you cannot understand. So we all are sadhak. We all are sadhak. Our goal is to get Swarup Siddhi. Our goal is to get our final eternal body. And after we get, then only we can cross Virja river. That too not directly. First, we have to take the birth from the book of Gopi in any universe where Krishna pastime is going on. Once we purify further, we'll go. So when we cross the Virja river, when we meet anybody in Golok Vrindavan, they will advertise with the brochures that, oh, you came it here first time, oh, talk to Radharani. This is what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote. So think about our position, how merciful we are. We are under that exact line where they are freely distributing that flyer. That before you go there, understand here only that she is the Supreme. That is her position. So let's proceed further. Now, I'm trying to prove here, as I said, that we heard many times Radharani is Supreme. How? Who said? Kahan likha hai? So now we'll try to prove. And who proved? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is proving. Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is proving? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radharani. Many times we say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, right? But actually, if I want to overrule that statement, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radharani. And here is Achintya Bheda Abhed Tattva comes into the picture. We heard Achintya Bheda Abhed, same at the same time different. Now somebody, if you ask outsider, is it aisa kaise ho sakta hai? If something is same, it's not different. If something is different, pagal ho gaye kya? No, obviously, but Mahaprabhu teaches Achintya Bheda Abhed. So ye kya hai? Little understanding. Again, I don't have any entrance and realization, but I'm materializing it for understanding purpose. So Mahaprabhu is Krishna, but more than Krishna, Mahaprabhu is Radharani. Why? There is a difference between in this world and that world. When you cross Virja river, there is one very significant difference. And what is that difference? That difference is, in that world, bhav has pradhanta than physical appearance. In this world, physical appearance has pradhanta than bhav. How? I'll give you an example. So let's say in this world, I have desire, I have a bhav. Okay, today is Radhastami. I don't want anyone to go for work. Sit and do meditate. Entire US shut down today. I have a bhav. I'm speaking it. I announce with the mic, okay, today entire US lockdown. But same statement, if Biden speaks, what happened? Will happen. So bhav doesn't matter. Who is speaking? Physical platform matter. In that world, it's not like that. More than physical platform, bhav matters. And that's why in spiritual life, bhav bhakti is pradhanta than dry bhakti. Why? Because bhav has predominance than physical attributes in that world. And that's why Achintya Bhed, Abhed meaning, it's a Bhed and Abhed also. How? Bhed meaning they are two separate bodies, Radha and Krishna. That's a Bhed. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, not Radharani. That's a Bhed. But what is Abhed? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also Radharani. Why? Because he has a mood of Radharani. So when you talk of that world, mood predominate. So Radharani predominate. So Mahaprabhu is Radharani. But when you talk of this world, physical body predominate. So Mahaprabhu is Krishna. So Mahaprabhu is Krishna, but Mahaprabhu is Radharani also. And for we Gaudiya Vaishnava, Mahaprabhu is Radharani. How? When you read carefully Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will see each and every mudra, actions, statements, behavior, talk of Mahaprabhu reflecting Maharani, reflecting her mood, reflecting her bhav. Or and especially one episode I like about Lakshmiji. Again, Lakshmiji's expansion of Radharani. No offense, but it's reality. Lakshmiji wants to associate with Krishna. Even today she is doing tapasya in Velwan. He's not getting entrance. In chapter 9, in Hindi is called Mahaprabhu Jale pe namak dal rahe hai. Why? Because Mahaprabhu is Radharani. Lakshmiji doesn't have entrance in Vrindavan. That's what scripture says. Chaitanya Charitamrita says. Why? Because Lakshmiji wants to maintain her spiritual opulence and he doesn't want dasatva of gopis. Gopi dasatva she doesn't want. And that's why she doesn't have entrance. Now Mahaprabhu is Radharani. So again, I'm materializing it just to understand. So Mahaprabhu na ye khatakta hai. You don't want to surrender to gopis, and at the same time you want to enter in Vrindavan, maybe like enter. So in chapter 9, chapter 16, chapter 17 of Madhya Lila, again and again Mahaprabhu is pinching the finger. Swarup Damodar, he asking to Swarup, "Arey batao to Jagannath ji akele kyun chale gaye, Lakshmi ji ko liye bhi na? Why Jagannath ji went alone in Vrindavan without Lakshmi ji?" Then Swarup Goswami replied that Lakshmi nahir varjiradhika. Mahaprabhu Lakshmi ji doesn't have interest in Braj. Why? She doesn't want dasyam, gopi dasyam. She doesn't want to associate. She doesn't want to take servitorship. And each and every instant, whenever opportunity comes, Mahaprabhu herald the point that Krishna, that to Nandanandan Krishna is the supreme. So this is the verse. We'll slowly prove that how Srimati Radharani is the foundation of everything. Convincingly from the scriptures, not only verbal statement. This is the verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is, I think, chapter 9. Narayana haite Krishne asadharana guna ataiva Lakshmir Krishne Trishna Nukshana. Because Krishna has 4 extraordinary qualities, which is Rup, Madhuri, Guru, Madhuri, all 4, not possessed by Lord Narayan. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, always desires his love. So even she is the chaste wife of Vishnu, Narayan, she wants to associate with Krishna. So here in this statement, Mahaprabhu is proving the point that Krishna is dominating the Narayan. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is dominating above the Narayan. So we know this. This is the Praman from scriptures. Now another verse. Same continuous discussion. Vipra bole ei tumar darsana prabhav tuma dekhi gela mora agnama swabhav bal balyavadhi ram naam grahanaya mar tuma dekhi Krishna naam ailoikabar. Again, same chapter. That Brahman continuously chanting the name of Lord Ramchandra. But as soon he associates with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his lifelong practice stopped, and he started chanting names of Krishna. So this is the translation. The Brahman replied, Mahaprabhu asked him, what happened? Why you suddenly stop chanting Ram's name? So this is what he says. This is all due to your influence. Sir, after seeing you, I have lost my lifelong practice. From my childhood, I have been chanting the holy name of Lord Ramchandra, but upon seeing you, I chanted the holy name of Lord Krishna just once. So same chapter is proving 2 things. Nandanandan Krishna or Krishna, right now consider Krishna. Krishna is supreme than Narayan. Krishna is supreme than Lord Ramchandra. Now we are talking on Tattva. That's why I'm separating each and every entities or personalities separately. There is no abhinatva. They are same again. They are our Aradhya East. But when we talk about Tattva, Krishna stand out absolutely separately. So Ram, Narayan, they are above him. This is the scriptural command. So this is how. Okay. Saundarya Asvarya Madhurya Vidagdhaya Vilas Vrajendra Nandaneya Adhika Ullas. Ab Mahaprabhu Vasudev Krishna. First he proved Lakshmi, then he Narayan, then Lord Ramchandra. अब he turned towards Krishna. अब कृष्णा में भी वो पार्ट बना रहे हैं. See carefully, please try to understand. This is very, very necessary before we talk anything about Srimati Radharani. First, he talk about Lakshmi ji, then Narayan. Now he is behind Vishnu Tattva, and that Narayan, Lord Ram, turn by turn, sabka bina wo turn nikal rahe hain. In this verse, while talking to Sanatana Goswami, what he said. When one compares the beauty, opulence, sweetness, and intellectual pastimes of Vasudeva, a warrior, to Krishna, the cowherd boy, son of Nand Maharaj, one sees that Krishna's attributes are more present. So now, after explaining these things, if I have to draw a picture, this is how the picture look like. Lord Narayan, Lord Ramchandra, etc. Entire Vishnu Tattva is predominated by Vasudeva Krishna. And Vasudeva Krishna is predominated by Nandanandan Krishna. So Nandanandan Krishna is the fountainhead of everything. We heard Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, but which Krishna? Nandanandan Krishna. This is Tattva. Nandanandan Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and Vasudeva Krishna is a knowledge aspect, who is represented by Sambit Shakti. And that's why who spoke Bhagavad Gita? Vasudeva Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, where he said, he himself said in Bhagavad Gita. There is only one verse where he himself used his name, right? Each and every verse is mama, my, mom, mama, my, mom. There is one verse, 7.19. Bahunam Janmanamante Gyanvan Mam Prapatre. Who is this Mam? Vasudevam Sarvam. He himself says, who I am Vasudeva. So who speaks Bhagavad Gita? Vasudeva Krishna speaking, not Nandanandan Krishna. Nandanandan Krishna has no business other than no other business. He is not interested in creation. He is not interested in knowledge. He is not interested in anything. उनका एक ही काम है बस माखन की चोरी करो और वो बस श्री राधा गोविंद महाराज said that कृष्णा का काम क्या है? सुबह गैया चराने, इन हिंदी से गाय गैया चराने जाते हैं, राइट? गाय चराना कोई काम है क्या? वो तो अपने आप चरती है और कोई काम वाम नहीं करते हो, झाड़ तो पेड़ के नीचे बैठे रहते हैं बस और बोलते चलो पाव दबाओ, तुम यहाँ डिजाइन बनाओ, तुम कुछ लगाओ, यही काम उनका. This is what he do. He is not doing any work. He is not doing any work. This is Krishna Tattva. So Nandanandan Krishna is a fountainhead of everything. And now we'll prove how Radharani is dominating. Radharani is dominating Lord Ramchandra, Narayan, Lakshmi, Vishnu Tattva, Vasudeva Krishna, and Nandanandan Krishna also like that. Radhikara prema guru ami sisya nata sadama nanandite nachaye udubhata. This is word spoken by Krishna, Nandanandan Krishna himself. Chapter 4 Adi Leela Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we see Nandanandan Krishna is dominating entire Vishnu Tattva, Narayan, Lakshmi ji, and everything, Lord Ramchandra. And the person who is dominating everybody, he is speaking that there is somebody who is my guru. There is somebody who is my guru. So unke guru kaun hai? Let's say the love of Radhika is my teacher. And this is not a flourished word, by the way. Please very deeply and carefully try to capture this word. Who is speaking this? Nandanandan Krishna, who is the sabke baap hai wo. He is speaking that the love of Radhika is my teacher and I am her dancing puppet. Now how beautiful this word is. Dancing puppet ka matlab kya hai pata hai? In this world, dancing puppet meaning puppet doesn't have any freedom. Puppet Rasul say, chalo nacho, chalo ye karo, chalo wo karo. Does puppet कब तो इतना नचा तभी थक गए बैठे थोड़ी. Can puppet say that? Puppet means puppet. So our Krishna, for him entire world say Om Jai Jagadis Hare He Jagannath. That Jagannath is a puppet of Srimati Radharani. I don't know how many devotees are listening, but I've been informed not to go too much detail, but certain detail will definitely come. And I have no hesitance to speak this reality that Srimati Radharani is making Krishna dance on a finger. Chalo nacho, chalo baitho, khade ho jao. This is what she do. And we Gaudiya Vaishnav, she is our Aradhyaist. Our Acharya Roop, Sanatan, Raghunath, they all, Vishwanath Chakravarti teach us that our Aradhyaist is Sri Radhika, who is the father of Nandanandan Krishna in Tattva. We'll see. So this is how now new picture comes up. Lord Narayan, Lord Ramchandra, etc. Entire Vishnu Tattva dominated by Vasudeva Krishna. Vasudeva Krishna is also subordinate of Nandanandan Krishna, and inke bhi baap Srimati Radhika. And today is her appearance day. You see the importance of today's day. Today is a day of devotion. If you observe carefully, it will bring lots of mangal in one's bhajan. There should be only one prayer for today's day. We'll see further. We should tell to Srimati Radharani that hold my hand and teach me how to cry for Krishna. I don't have any other business. I don't want somebody garland me, somebody recognize me. I don't want fame, name, reputation. I just want to sit in a room and teach me how to cry for Krishna. This is the day where we can beg to her. And all reason we can beg, because Srimati Radharani is above Nandanandan Krishna. And this is not whimsical statement I am speaking. You see from the scriptures I am speaking. Each and every word I am presenting here. So nobody can deny this graph right now I am presenting. That Srimati Radharani also, she is the father of everything. Not only mother says, वो बाप भी है. Krishna says, Gati. Srila Guru Govind Maharaj says that Krishna is cheating in many places in Bhagavad Gita. What is the first cheating in 7th chapter? Who says? 7th chapter, 7.8. No one is above than me. Matta Parataram. Guru Govind Maharaj says he is a cheater, Baba. Who is above than him? Who is above than him? This, again, we should not discuss this publicly, but it's reality. Is it not cheating? Just Matta Parataram Nanya Arjun. आपके ऊपर तो कोई और है, देखो आप खुद बोल रहे हो, तो फिर ढोआ क्यों दे रहे हो दुनिया को? This is reality. Srila Guru Govind Maharaj says, Baba, if you are not careful in your bhajan, you will be cheated in this moment. This has a lot of deep meaning actually. If you're not careful in one's bhakti, you will be cheated. Will be cheated. Whole entire life we carry the impression that this is what I am considering right, and when the death comes, we realize right was something else. So we should be very, very careful in one's bhajan. Very, very careful. Let's proceed. Okay, so now we'll discuss a little bit about Srimati Radharani. We see entire Krishna energy, aspects of Krishna. We prove how Srimati Radharani is the greatest of each and every aspects and energy. And now little bit information on Srimati Radharani. Just like Krishna has partitions, Vasudev Krishna, Nandanandan Krishna, Mahavishnu, Vishnu Tattva, same way Radharani also has partitions. First basic partition is Srimati Radharani in a form of Rajvadhu. All Rajvadhu is expansion of Srimati Radharani. That is one partition main. Second is all Mahisis, all the women of Dwarika, Mathura. That's thing. And third, all the Lakshmi in all thousands of planets of Vaikunthas. So these are the main three aspects of Srimati Radharani. But that's external again. Srimati Radharani also has a two aspects. I didn't prepare all this details because I didn't get time. External, internal. External is represented by all the goddess and everything. Internal is more towards the Vrajvadhus. So here I present internal aspect of Srimati Radharani. It has three divisions of Srimati Radharani. And these are the three. Vrishabhanu Nandani Radhika, Viyogini Radhika, and Samyogini Radhika. Now, just to understand this thing a little bit, just like this, Dham also has a three aspect. Please try to understand and don't try to doze off because Siddhanta Baliyaji did not karwalas. So please try to understand this is very, very necessary. And then we'll touch upon quickly Krishna Radharani's pastime a little bit. Dham has three aspects. Prakat Dham, Aprakat Dham, and Drashyaman Dham Stali. Or another word, Prakat Lila, Aprakat Lila, Drashyaman Prakat Lila. So Prakat Dham meaning what? Prakat Dham meaning 5,000 years ago when Krishna appears with all his entourage and paraphernalias, that's called Prakat Dham, where Yog Maya connect this earth directly there. That's called Prakat Dham. Aprakat Dham meaning when he disappeared, his lila is going on internally. That's called Aprakat Dham. And only qualified person can see that. And Drashyaman Lila Sthali meaning whether you are qualified or not, you go, you see. Just like today we go in Vrindavan, we see Govardhan. That Govardhan is as it is. But are we seeing real Govardhan? No. Based on one's purity and bhajan, we see. But still, even though I'm papi, I can see Yamuna, I can see Brajaraj, I can see Giriraj. That's called Drashyaman Lila Sthali or Drashyaman Dham Sthali. So Dham has three aspects, Prakat, Aprakat, Drashyaman. Now, Prakat is the main one who dominate this Aprakat and Drashyaman. Why? Because Aprakat and Drashyaman followed by Prakat. When Krishna come, then people know about him. That's how all this Aprakat and Drashyaman comes into the picture. Today's Vrindavan in India is there because Krishna came 5,000 years ago. That's why. So same way, Radharani has three attributes: Vrishabhanu Nandani, Vyogini Radha, Samyogini Radha. Now, as per Padma Purana, Vrishabhanu Nandani, and our Jiv Goswami also mentioned in his Sandarbhas, Vrishabhanu Nandani never leaves Vrindavan. Just like Nandanandan, Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Vrindavanam Paritajam Padam Ekam Nagachati. Padam Ekam Nagachati. Ek pair bhi aage nahi rkhte. Never. And the Radharani who is standing next to Krishna, who is she? Vrishabhanu Nandani Radha. And who is Vyogini? When Krishna leave Vrindavan to go to Mathura, Vasudeva aspect of Krishna leave. not Nandanandan. So with that Vasudeva aspect of Krishna, this Viyogini Radha joined in a Viyog, in a separation. And Samyogini meaning she went to Kurukshetra and Dwarika to get Krishna back. Who is Dwarika? This Krishna. So three-part aspects of Krishna as coordination of three aspects of Radharani. And Vrishabhanu Nandani never lived Vrindavan. And Vrishabhanu Nandani is our Radha text based on our Sampradaya and Acharya. So she is the one who is our Aradhyist. She is the one who is our worshipable deity. So let's see. Now, we discuss all these details. This is what a little bit tattva of Srimati Radharani. How she is the fountainhead. What are the attributes of Srimati Radharani? And again, in this also, if you see, Vrishabhanu Nandini, Viyogini Radha teach one very important aspect, which is called Vipralambha Siva, which is the basis of our Sampradaya. Where Srila Prabhupada says that one should feel separation from Krishna. Not sudden, oh, I see Krishna or dancing with gopis. Srila Prabhupada said, right? So our bhajan, the maturity of one's bhajan is how much separation we are feeling from Krishna. And those hearts whose heart is filled with sense gratification cannot feel that separation. Cannot feel. It is not possible. So what is our attempt should be every day we wake up? Our attempt should be minimize the tendency to gratify our senses, whether it's eating, sleeping, whatever, talking, joking, whatever. So we should slowly move towards the direction where we reduce down. Today we may not have that. We are doing sense gratification. I'm doing, but our attempt every day should be, I don't want to do sense gratification today. And if we more and more do this, then we feel that separation. And that is the ripened fruit of bhajan bhakti. All the bhajanandis, they are running their shop on the basis of this. सब लोग अपनी दुकानें इसके ऊपर चलाते हैं. They sit and cry. Remember Krishna, that's it. This is what our Sampradaya Acharya teaches. And that is coming from whom? Srimati Radha. Any devotee who is performing bhajan, if you get a little happiness, kirtan acha tha, lecture was nice, was wonderful, this, that, we should understand that Radharani is present there. Little bit prakas of Radharani is there. Because without Radharani, nobody gets pleasure, including Krishna and ourselves also. So if we get some pleasure in discussion, in talking, kirtan, Radharani, aspect of Radharani is there. Without Radharani, and Krishna says, Bina Radha Prasadena, mat prasado nagachati. Radha ki kripa ke bina, meri kripa nahi mil sakti. This is true. So yeah. So now, I'm taking now, switching gear to the Lila aspect of Radharani. This is all the tattva where we prove that Radharani is everything. Now when we prove Radharani is everything, we agree by default one thing. That just like when we enter in this country, on any international airport, when you land, by default you agree one thing. What? You follow the rules and constitutional regulation of this country. Can you say murdering somebody, oh, I was not aware about कि आपके country में गुनाह है किसी को? Can we say that? No. Even though we don't know. How many of you are living here more than 5 years in this country? Raise your hand, please. Okay. How many of you know that under which article will be in prison rest of your life if you murder somebody? Oh. Nobody knows. Okay. But still you know that if you murder somebody, you'll be gone, right? Right? Same way, when we accept that Srimati Radharani is a fountainhead, by default we accept that whatever she teaches is a fountainhead of bhakti. Is a fountainhead of bhakti. And what she teaches, that is there in our Goswami's writings. Main thing is Srila Prabhupada always mentioned, that is with the Lamba Bhava. She feel the separation, she feel how to serve Krishna, and see how. She 24/7 serve. And now from the pages of Brahma Vaivat Puran, so I collect few snaps from the Brahma Vaivat Puran. I purposefully again, this is from the second Khand, chapter number 6 and 7 of Brahma Vaivat Puran. I purposefully didn't bring each and every verse because Radharani is very bold. Very bold. And I'm not finding myself qualified to present here. So I cut short the verses, few verses, which I think is good to talk on a public. I bring it here. So now we are entering in a Lila aspect of Radharani. So we all heard about her birth pastime. So I'll not go in the birth pastime, but particular segment of birth pastime, I was thinking to elaborate a little bit here. So what is that? We all know that how Sridham curses Srimati Radharani curses Sridham, Sridham becomes some chur married with Tulsi ji, and Sridham curses that he will become a lower human in a group themselves, gopis of Brajvadus in Vrindavan. All this Leela we know. What I'm bringing here from the Brahma Vaivat Puran is when Sridham curses Srimati Radharani went to Krishna. in a pain, and she present her pain, and I bring that pain here. So let's see. So I bring few verses from Brahma Puran, Khand 2, chapter 6 and 7. This is spoken by Sri Radha Uvacha. Because few verses ahead says this Sri Radha Uvacha. Bhita Sridam Sapatsa Sri Krishnam Samuvacha Gopi Rupa Bhavishyami Sridam Mam Sasapa Kamupayam Karishyami Vadamma Bhaya Vanjanam Tvaya Vina Katham Darishyami Swajivanam. What a wonderful words. Even translation is not required. Hold on. See how beautiful. I mean, sometimes when we sing this thing, okay. So you see, it says Bhita Sridama Sapatsa Sri Krishnam Samuvacha. When Sridam gives Srap, she go to Sri Krishna Samuvacha. She stand in front of Sri Krishna. Gopi Rupa Bhavishyami. Oh, and she present that, oh Sridam, give me curse. What curse? Gopi Rupa Bhavishyami. In the future, you will become a human gopi. Sridam Masa Sapa. Sridam, give me that Srap, Krishna. What should I do? So he says, okay, she asked a question to Krishna. What should I do? Now I have to appear on this earth. How can I go without you? So let's say Krishna is pining. Unka yahi kaam actually. You are in a pain, you pay obeisance, he is smiling, he is right. Every day. This is reality, isn't it? You either body pain, financial pain, you come here and pay obeisance and he is smiling. ये अच्छा है क्या किसी के दुख के ऊपर हंसना? It has lot of more anyway. Kamupayam karishyami. Kamupayam karishyami. What should I do now? Vadama, Vad, you please speak. Bhayi Banjanam. Oh, destroyer of everyone's bhaya, please speak to me. What? Kamupayam, ab main kya karu? Toya, now she is asking. So let's say Krishna internally asking. So mujhe kyun पूछ रही हो? Let's say Krishna asks, why you are asking me? So very bold answer Srimati Radharani is giving that. Beautiful. Last line is very beautiful. Toya vina katham darishyami swajivanam. आपके बिना मैं मेरे प्राण धन को कैसे धर सकती? Without you, how can I survive? Nice translation. Thereafter, with the curse of Sridam, Radha was afraid. Who spoke to Krishna? Oh Lord, I shall have to be born as a cowherd girl because of the curse of Sridam. You tell me the remedy for the same, because without you, how can I hold my? You see, secretly, Mahaprabhu's mood is coming here. Sisters come. Kadam Dharishyami. How can I live without you? Last verse of Chaitanya, sisters come. Slowly, now I'll give you one task internally. Verses I'm presenting, try to link it with Mahaprabhu's mood. You will get it. And that's why I pick it few verses only. This is one verse she spoke to, verse 7 and 8. Let's see further. Sanena me yugasatam kalam natha tvaya vina chakshurnimi savirahat udbhavidgavam manomama sarat parvarna chandrabham sudha purnananam tava naj chakshuscha karorabhyam pibabhyam aham maranihasam tvam atma me manah pranam dehamatram vahanyam drishti saktischa chakshustvam jivanam paramam dhanam. Again, self-explanatory words. Sane me yugasatam kalam. Any verse is coming? Yugaitam nimisena chaksusa prabhusaitam sunyaitam jagadasarvam govinda virhanam. Radharani is exactly telling to Krishna, how should I go on earth without you? Now Krishna says, उसमें कौन सी बड़ी बात है? Go. So Srimati Radharani is telling, Kshane me yuga satam kalam. One kshana will be huge for me without you. Kalam nathat tovo vina, आपके बिना. हिंदी भी बहुत इजी इसका. चक्षुर निमिष, again गोपी गीत. चक्षुर निमिषेर विरह, गोपी. How they are living Brahmani, right? I'll not speak that verse. Manomama. I cannot even, when I blink my eyes, I feel huge of separation from you. Why? Somebody says, why? Aisa kyun? So she's answering. Sarat Parvana Chandramam, just like a winter shiny moon Your glory is like a winter shining moon. And what I'm doing? Sudha Purnanana. That Sudha, that Amrut, what I'm doing? Pibabhyam. I'm peeing. How? Day and night. So if you are not there, how can I live my life? मैं कैसे ढल सकती हूँ मेरे जीवन को? So he says, तुम आत्म में मन हो, आप मेरी आत्मा हो. Whoever you are entire, you are mine. प्राणम देह मात्रम वहाम्य हो. आपके बिना मैं सिर्फ प्राण ऐसे धर के चलती हूँ. बॉडी है लेकिन जान नहीं है. Without you, in Hindi, just like now those Romeo style people, they say that leave it. दृष्टि शक्तिश्च चक्षुस्त्वं जीवनम परमम धनम. आप कौन हो? मेरे जीवन के परम धन हो. You are the center, soul, and everything of my life. Without you, I am zero. I am nothing. So there Krishna says, I am zero. With you, I am hero. Now Radharani is telling, without you, I am zero. This is difficult to understand. Oh Lord, without you, a moment will be spent by me like yugas. Even separation from you due to twinkling of an eye disturbed me immensely. I consumed the nectar like the full moon of the winter season, representing your glory day and night, like the partridge bird, Chatak Paksi. You are my soul and my life. Though I move about with this body, therefore you happen to be my insight, my eyes, and the treasure of my life. After cursing, when she has to go to earth, before she reach to earth or start, she is approaching and she is telling this thing to Krishna. And each and every verse is presenting Vipralambha Bhav. How much separation she feel. She is nothing. वो Radharani जी नहीं सकते कृष्ण के बिना. She cannot live. That's why people in this world, they fantasize the idea, oh, they are lovebird. People say like that. I have heard that, oh, Radha and Krishna, they are lovebird. What you know about them? People say like that, but this is reality. And as I said, if you carefully mark the number 9, 10, 11 ahead was, I purposefully choose few verses because in between these words, it's very. She spoke such a way that we cannot publicly even listen. But that is her mood. And same mood Mahaprabhu replicated. Same mood. We know next verse. Again, nice verse. स्वप्ने ज्ञाने त्वयि मनः स्मरामि त्वत्पाद अम्बुजं तव दास्यं विना नाथ न जीवामि क्षणं विभो. Is it not easy translation? Last line. तव दास्यं विना नाथ न जीवामि क्षणं विभो. Is it not self-explanatory? How nice. स्वप्ने ज्ञाने, नींद में, dream, in my ज्ञान mind, स्मरामि तव पादम. मुझे कोई काम धंधा ही नहीं है other than remembering your lotus feet. And tava dasyam vina, without serving you, nath, he nath, na jivami kshanam vibho. I cannot leave a kshana. This is the translation. I always adore you while sleeping or awake and always meditate upon your lotus-like feet in my mind. Oh Lord, oh virtuous one, I cannot remain alive even for a moment without serving you. And I think this is the last. Yeah. Sri Radhika Uvacha. Srununatha pravakshami kim kari vachanam prabhu pranadhanti satatam andolayati me manah chaksur nimilanam kartum sakta tava darsane tvaya vina katham natha yasyami dharani talam. I'll go direct translation. Radhika said, oh Lord, you kindly listen to a small servant like me. Oh Lord, my life is burning all the time and the mind is unstable. I am unable to separate from you even when close my eyes or even winking there for a moment. How shall I be able to move on to the earth alone without you? Now in between we have verses from Krishna also where Krishna says, literally says, like a Hindi filmy style, why to worry when I am here? डरो मत मैं हूं ना. Krishna literally said like that. There is one verse in between and Krishna says, अरे डरते क्यों हो? Don't worry. He said like that, and few nice romanticizing words where if he present improperly, people will take in a wrong direction. That's why I didn't bring all those things. But very wonderful conversation between Radha and Krishna. This from Brahma Puran. Karosi maya channam mam chena maye sabhutale vismrutam vibanam datva satyam me sapatham kuru anukshanam mama mano Adhupo madhusudana karoti brahmanam nityam samadvika padambuja yatta yatra cha yasyamba yoni janma bhavit padam tam swasyasya smaranam dasyam mahyam dasya sivanchitam. O Lord of illusion, in case you want to send me to the earth with your illusion, then you give me a solemn promise. O Madhusudan, let the black wasps of my mind always roll about your holy lotus-like feet to extract the honey. Whenever and whenever I am born in any form, you will always own me and provide me your slavehood. This is her statement. So, from these statements, we understand that her mood towards Krishna is only service, and she cannot imagine her life without Krishna. कृष्णस्त्वं राधिकाहं च प्रेम सौभाग्यमावयो न विस्मरामि भूमौ च देहि मह्यं वरं परम यथा त्वन्वा सह प्राणः शरीरं छायाय सह तथा अवयोर्जन्म यन्तु देहि मह्यं वरं परम. Even after descending on earth, you as Krishna and myself as Radhika should never separate from each other. You kindly bestow the boon on me, all pervading one, as the life follows the body and the shade also follows the same. Therefore, both of us should be born together. This is the boon which I desire from you. And that's why Krishna says, first I will appear in this conversation, and then after 14-15 days, you will come. We will never remain separated. We will always be there. And then he described entire Leela, that how will appear in a prison, and then they will lift me to the Gokul Mahavan, and how entire pastimes in between these verses Krishna spoke. And then Srimati Radharani get the assurance that, give me assurance that we will be never separated from each other. And I think this is the last verse. Okay. Let me cross few because we don't have enough time. Mam atma manasam pranastvai samsthapita yatha. Let's do one thing. Let's not sing Sanskrit, otherwise it will take time. My mind, my soul, and my life always remain devoted to you. Similarly, your mind, life, and soul should always remain devoted to me. Krishna ke sthito Radha, Radha ke sthito Hari. Jivane nidhane nityam Radha Krishna Gati Mama. Jiva Goswami statements is reflecting here. Krishna Gehesito. Krishna is sitting on Radharani's body. Radharani is sitting on Krishna. She is demanding the same thing. My mind, my soul, and my life always remain devoted to you. Similarly, yours to me. Therefore, even a moment separation disturbs me. Again, Mahaprabhu's mood. With the very hearing of the separation from you, my life gets disturbed. And this is reality actually. Thus, speaking like this way, Radhika fell on the feet of the Lord and started crying aloud. Just imagine this picture. After getting cursed, she went to Krishna and she's explaining her vyatha, that this is what is happening with me, what should I do? And then finally she completed her talk and then she fell at the feet, started crying loudly. And then later Krishna assures. And after Krishna assures, what happened? Brahma Puran says, at that point of time, suddenly 3 crores of Rajvadus and 1 crores of cowherds arrived there suddenly from nowhere. Oh Narad, this conversation is between Narad Muni and Narayan Rishi. So Narayan Rishi is speaking this. Oh Narad, Radha again stood before the Lord with the cowherds and Rajvadus and then started at him, like stared at him. On the arrival of the 33 female friends of Radhika, Visakha, Lalita, Ityadi, main internal Sakhis, Sneha, Radha, Adhika, Sneha, Sakhis. She bowed in reverence to the Lord and then started towards the earth. So after getting assurance, they start towards the earth to take birth on a Bhumandal by all cowherd and Rajvadus. So Radharani accompanied with thousands and thousands of Rajvadus. They started towards the earth to deliver all us people like me. She accepted the bondage of this world to remove my bondage. She accepted this prapanch jagat to remove prapanch from my heart, and they accept sansar. In Hindi, sansar means gargriyasti. She accepted sansar to remove our sansar. So how beautiful word. You see last line, accompanied by all cowherd and Rajvadu, she started towards the earth. Just imagine that. She talked with Krishna and then she Radharani says, all right, I'm going. And along with the entire paraphernalia, she start approaching towards earth. That's how she take birth. This is what mentioned in Brahma-Vivek Puran. So this is what mentioned in Brahma-Vivek Puran. And now this is the last word about Srimati Radharani, that after she appeared, this will describe entire episode of Radharani, and then we'll almost done. So this is spoken by Guru Govind Maharaj, I think in Sri Hari Vidyapati, Padyavali, Sri Hari Padyavali, wonderfully. And translation is also by Sri Guru Govind Maharaj, found in Vrindavan meets Mathura. How she lived in Vrindavan. This is very beautiful actually, carefully. And Prabhupada hinting that how we should imbibe this mood. And this is some symptoms of entire Radharani's mood actually. And we will derive some practical aspect of it and then we'll jump on to this discussion. Jamuna tatini kule keli kadam meramule more laye chalalo tvaraya. It's similar to Hindi if you carefully. More laye chalalo tvaraya. मुझे जल्दी ले जाओ tvaraya. Quickly ले जाओ मुझे कहाँ? Jamuna tatina kule. Jamuna के किनारे. At the bank of Yamuna, please take me quickly. Why? Antimera bandhu hoya, Jamuna marti kalaya, Sakhi mura lipas sarva gaya. You please take the dust of Yamuna, who is very dear to me, and smear it on my entire body. When Krishna approached to Radharani, it's mentioned that we have to go to earth. Krishna spoke one verse, it's mentioned in Garga Samhita. Yatra Govardhanam nasti, Yatra Yamuna jalam nasti, Yatra vraja rajo na asti, tasya aham na gamishyami. Where there is not Govardhan, there is no Yamuna, and Vrajra, no Hani Anivali. So Krishna said, don't worry, I will bring entire paraphernalia for you. Let's go. Because without you, I am zero. I am hero only with you. Syama nama tad upari, likha sabha sahachari, tulasi manjari diyotaya, amare bestana kari, bala sabe hari hari, jakhana parana bahiraya. Wonderful translation, carefully understand. And if possible, this is my personal opinion, this is a conclusion of our today's discussion also. This is translation by Srila Guru Govind Maharaj. This is what Srimati Radharani says. Immediately take me to the bank of the Yamuna, as she is very dear to me. Put me underneath a Keli Kadamba tree, there on the bank. They are my best friends, now at the end of my life. Take some mud from Yamuna and smear it all over my body and write on it, Syam, 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 Syam. Take some Tulsi Manjari and put them on those names. Then all my dear Sakhis should sit around me, and when my life is leaving, you should all chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. This is what she said. When she feels too much separation, she said, I will die, and then this is how she, in her Modanakhya Mahabhav, this is how she stuttered. And then what should we do? And then she described, and then later he says, Bolo Sabe Hari Hari. This is Guru Govind Maharaj translate. She says, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. She tell to her Sakhi. Do you see the importance of Hare Krishna Mahamantra here? Which is the conclusion of Srimati Radharani, who is the conclusion of all the Vishnu Tattva, who is the conclusion of Krishna. So now I'm quickly recapping entire Vishnu Tattva, Vasudev Krishna, Nandanandan Krishna, Radharani, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Entire panorama, entire paradigm is present in Mahamantra. So if you want to appreciate Srimati Radharani, appreciate Mahamantra. Chanting that should be always with us. Aharinis Namalaya. Our Acharya always teach one thing. If you want to really, otherwise our talk with Radharani will be on a sky if it is without Harinam. With Harinam, it will be on the ground. See how nicely. And it says, Syama, 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 write it on my body. When Uddhavji went in Dwarika, he says, Are remember your Krishna, Krishna, kyun kar rahe ho? He is a supreme Brahman, everybody is sitting here, sub tree, this is Krishna. Remember, ro rahe ho, pagalo ki tarah. This is what Radha translate. So very befitting answer of Vrajacharyas give the mood of Radharani and other gopis. Or to Uddhavji, this is Krishna Dhana, Krishna Mana, Krishna hi hamaro dhana. Krishna Dhana, Krishna Mana, Krishna hi hamaro dhana. Udho hame आठोयाम कृष्ण ही सो काम. कृष्ण तन, कृष्ण मन, कृष्ण ही हमारो धन। उदो हमें आठो याम, 8 प्रहर, 24/7, कृष्ण ही so काम. This is Radharani's mood. Bilomangal Thakur also mentioned this thing, that how gopis grihe grihe gopavadhu kadamba sarve militva samavata yoga punyati namani patanti nityam govinda damodara madhveti. सब गोपी लोग क्या करते हैं? गृह गृह, सब घरों से निकल के आते हैं, एंड देन they are not talking who went to India, किसके घर में क्या चल रहा है, who is what. They never do that gossip. They always chant Krishna's name and katha. कृष्ण की गाथा, कृष्ण की कथा और कृष्ण के बारे में रोना. This is व्रजवधु. And this व्रजवधु mood, रम्या काचिद व्रजवधु वर्गेणया कल्पिता. Our worship should be व्रजवधु worship. What is व्रजवधु worship? This is व्रजवधु worship. Syam, 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 Syam. This is व्रजवधु worship. No gossip, no time pass. Rasikanand Saraswati, one great vibhuti in Radha Vallabh Sampradaya, wrote many pad. This particular pad is very famous actually. Our Amrenda Prabhu many times mentioned, and many other devotees like Radha Govind Maharaj also many times mentioned. Said, and please, if you not take anything, it's okay, take this thing. And it will be conclusion for our today's discussion. It says, Narayan Hari Bhajan ko पांचों नहीं सुहात. I repeat, Narayan Hari Bhajan ko पांचों नहीं सुहात. These 5 things doesn't suit on them, those who wants to perform Krishna Bhajan. These 5 things doesn't conducive on them. What is that? Narayan Hari Bhajan ko पांचों नहीं सुहात. निद्रा, हंसी, जगत प्रीति, बहुबात. निद्रा, हंसी, जगत प्रीति, विषय लालसा, बहुबात. These 5 things doesn't suit on them. What is that? Too much sleeping. ऐसे सो रहे जैसे जन्मों से सोए ही नहीं. Hours and hours of sleeping. Those who wants to perform bhajan doesn't suit on them. What? First, always remember, Narayan Hari Bhajan ko पांचों नहीं सुहात. निद्रा, हंसी, cutting jokes, or else, और बताओ, कुछ बताओ. सिला गुरु बाबा कुछ नहीं, भजन करो. Pick the fall, and sometimes in the guise of devotee association also, we flare on the floor like anything. I'm speaking about my adhikar, but this is the conclusion according to me. We get human birth not to cut the joke. We are joking on each other, but we don't know that unknown to us, somebody is already cutting joke on us. Isn't it? We didn't get this human birth to just flare up on the floor. श्रील गुरु गोविंद महाराज से बाबा ये जीवन रोने के लिए मिला है, हंसने के लिए नहीं मिला है, जोक पास करने के लिए नहीं मिला है. So निद्रा, हंसी, जगत प्रीति. Too much attachment in this world. Should I take some liberty? Jagat Priti, wife, husband, children, family members. Doesn't suit on them. That doesn't mean we give over responsibility. One is responsibility, one is attachment. We have two separate paradigms. What is the principle of Bhagavad Gita? You know, basic principle of Bhagavad Gita. If we not understand that, we not understand Bhagavad Gita. Even though we are grihast, Krishna says take sannyas. Take sannyas here. Your achar, your sleeping, your talk, your eating should be like a sannyas. You may remain in the white cloth in grihasthasram, but you should be a sannyasi. 3.19, 3. I'm not speaking verses, we don't have time. 3.90, 3.20, 4.21, 12.4, 12.6. How many verses Krishna is taking? Yatra sarvani karmani mai sannyasa mat parva. Aap sannyas le lo. You stay in your home, but take sannyas from your heart. Your talk, your sleeping, your eating should be like sannyasi. And for that reason we get human birth. So Narayan Hari Bhajan ko पांचों नहीं स्वाद. निद्रा, हंसी, जगत प्रीति, विषय लालसा. Too much gratifying senses and doing the things which simply give pleasure. My Gurudev used to say that do not try to love only those who satisfy your senses. How deep is this? I repeat. Do not try to love only those who satisfy your senses. So Visay Lalsa and Bahubat. talking and talking. As I said, hours and hours we talk. We talk and laugh. और बताओ. अरे कुछ भी बताने के लिए. We talk and talk. When we laugh, we don't know Maya is already laughing on us, isn't it? The social media, all the gadgets, and these all are toys she created for us to make sure that we not reach Krishna. This all social media is a toy created for us by her to make sure that we not reach to Krishna. Because her business is only one, whoever try to reach Krishna, stop them. ये उनका काम है. So we should be very, very careful. A sadhak should be very alert, very alert. We may not have purity, we may not have that ability, we may doing sense gratification. But what I'm advertising here is, are we endeavoring it? That's what I'm advertising. I'm not advertising today become Sundar Goswami. No, because I am also not. But what I'm advertising is, are we trying best to prove them that yes, I am trying and but I am able to do? Then they will help us. This is the takeaway point. How we do all these things on a platform of Mahamantra. And now I'm quickly taking to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came for what? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, उन्होंने आके क्या किया है? Somebody says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu roll on the ground. Can we roll on the ground? He jump in ecstasy. Can we do that? Show me one single activity which Mahaprabhu did. We can do. कितना खा लेते? अरे बाप रे, कोई सन्यासी खाता है क्या इतना? How much he eat? If he eat that much, what will happen? Those who brahmachari, they know very well. वो कितना खा ले? क्या हम कर सकते हैं? Show me one thing practically. Please tell me. I want public free opinion here. Tell me what is one thing coming in your mind which is practical Mahaprabhu did and we can also. Obviously. Sarva mantra sarana ए शास्त्र मर्म. शास्त्र का मर्म क्या है? सर्व मंत्र सारना. कृष्ण मंत्र हईते हबे संसार मोक्ष. Krishna Nama laite pabe Krishna chara. To easily get Krishna, Srimati Radharani, if you simply chant. Mahaprabhu is Radharani. Madanakhya Mahabhav bring Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to this world. So how he is bringing? Through Mahamantra. Bhaktivinoda Thakur Maharaj says entire paradigm is present in Mahamantra. All we want to do is alas abhav yatha tatha nam lo desh kala niyam nahi sarva siddhi hoya. No, sometimes Prabhu, I'm doing offense. तो कौन नहीं करता है? Somebody asked a question to Radha Govind Maharaj that Maharaj, when I'm chanting, my mind is wandering. तो हिंदी में सी ask के मेरा mind सब जगह घूम रहा है. तो महाराज से तो mind नहीं घूमेगा तो क्या आप घूमेंगे? Mind तो घूमेगा ही ना. It's simple. If kid will not cry, who will cry? You cannot expect kid remain quiet. You cannot expect mind remain quiet. So उसके पीछे भागना नहीं, मन नहीं लग रहा, नहीं. Bring it forcefully on the tongue. Bring it forcefully. And when you chant more and more, you will realize that mission of Mahaprabhu is fulfilling in your heart. Maharani's bhav is fulfilling in your heart. And that is the essence of one's life. If we miss this, Prabhupada says best use of bad bargain. But if we miss this, it's a bad use of best bargain. Because we got that sampradaya. We got that Rup Goswami. I was avoiding, but I've been forced now. They are manjaris. They are not ordinary. And they are our acharya. So we are descendant of whom? Them. The Gopir Jana Pada Kamalar Das Dasanu Das. Mahaprabhu said that, right? It has two meanings. I'll unfold that in the next slide. One meaning is obvious. I am a servant of Gopis. That's our mood. But how we get that mood? Can we get on a flight, on a sky? No. That mood will be gotten by simply chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. How? Yatha tatha naam loya. Sarva siddhi hoya. Guaranteed you will get everything. That's what Mahaprabhu's Gurudev is telling to Mahaprabhu. Murkha tumi tumar nahi vedanta adhikar. Krishna mantra japa sada yahi mantra sar. He says, you fool. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling to Prakash Samad, my Gurudev said, tu murkha. You are a fool. Why? You doesn't have adhikar on Vedanta or study or anything. And what should I do? Krishna mantra japa sada. Simply like Krishna is saying. And the difficult task is that because nobody will garland us, nobody will recognize what we are doing. पूरे अपने आप self service. Sometimes we want recognition because of the mode of passion. Sometimes we want people to see us. But chanting is close the door and sit hours and hours. But if you cross this thing, the greatest glorious goal is waiting for you. And if you get there, you are the most sublime fortunate person on the planet. Your glory exceeds that Indra, Chandra, Brahma, and everybody. This is not my statement. This is our Acharya's statement. Getting Radharani's bow, getting entrance in Vrindavan, Lord Shiv, Uddhav, Brahmaji, they all are waiting in a queue. We all know this. That we will get like this, simply by chanting Mahamantra. So chant and don't worry about mood. Mood ko jaane do jahan pe bhi jaye. Bring the tongue. Srila Prabhupada says that once you bring the tongue again and again, that garsan, that collision will arouse so many things, will remove unearth, will so many things. And here also, Srila Govind Maharaj is translating. Chant, sit together, and Maharani is telling that, in his Madanakya Mahabhav, that chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this is the conclusion. And quickly, I'm wrapping up now. When we say I'm belonging to Gaurang Mahaprabhu, Jai Gaura, Jai Gaura. See, this is what our thunderous personality character in Chaitanya Charitamrita, who wrote Prema Vivartana, Jagdanand Pandit. Gaura Rami, mukhe bole nahi chali. Gaura ra achara, Gaura ra vichara, laile fale fale. Just saying I belong to Gaura does not sufficient. One must follow Gaura's practice and Gaura's teachings if one wishes to achieve the promised result. Simply holding the mango, appreciate the mango, will that give you taste? No, we have to ripe it and eat it, isn't it? So simply, mukhe boli Gaura Rami, vachane nahi, vartane nahi. So we do lip service, but not by behavior. So when we say we're not doing by behavior, and we not chant, at least push yourself. Push. Our Shana very nicely says, push, go extra mile. I like that one, go extra mile. And what is the definition of austerity? Turn on the AC, turn on the television, sit on a couch. Is that a definition of austerity? The very root of austerity meaning give pain to your body, isn't it? Can somebody say that eating some Coca-Cola is doing austerity? Obviously no. Tapo divyam putradayaka satyam. Why? Brahmatam sughamanantam. You'll get that later. बहुत कम लोगों को पता है कि वास्तविक सुख का मार्ग तपस्या से होकर निकलता है. People wants to get happiness first, and that's when they commit a blunder. But happiness can be gotten only first we do tapasya in life. That very few knows. And he says Gaura Achar and Gaura Vichar we should follow. Now what is Gaura Achar and Gaura Vichar? Very nice, this mentioned in chapter 17, Madhya Lila. This is what Gaura Achar and Gaura Vichar is. Again, this is a verse I'm quickly bypassing and I'll come back later here. Nirantara Krishna Nam Jivha Tanar Gai Dui Netra Yasru Bahe Gangadhar Prai Shane Nache Hase Gaye Karaye Grandan Shane Hunkar Kare Simhera Garjan. This is his achar and this is his vichar. What? His tongue is Mahaprabhu's. His tongue is always chanting the holy name of Krishna. And from his eyes, tears incessantly fall like the flowing Ganges. Sometimes he dances, laughs, sings, cries, and sometimes he roars like a lion. We may not be able to do the second paragraph, but we can at least try the first paragraph. This is Gaura Achar and Vichar. And if we not follow this thing, then the Pandit says, Gaura Rami, mukhe bole nahi chalega. So this is the real celebration of Radhastami. That we should give promise to ourselves that I want to become sincere in my devotional service. What is the definition of sincerity, you know? Again, our Acharya wrote so many things. I don't want to go in that detail. 10 o'clock, my time is over. Simple definition of sincerity is your behavior between the four walls of your room when nobody is watching you. That is the sincere definition of, according to me, sincere definition of sincere devotional service. Who we are. That's when the reality comes out, right? In a peer pressure, I cannot behave certain way. But when I'm in my wall, so again, I'm coming back to our blue world. They are the one who bring all these things for us. So without their mercy, we cannot move an inch. So now if you connect the entire flow, this entire Krishna energy dominated by Radharani, we concluded in Hare Krishna Mahamantra through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And now we are coming a last slide of my presentation is again back to Guru. Why? Now I'm exploring that second meaning of Gopir Jana or Pada Kamalar Das Dasan Das. One obvious meaning is I am a servant and servant and servant of Gopis. That is one external meaning. There is one internal meaning of that statement. Gopir Jana Pada Kamalar Das Das Andas. 3 times they use, right? It has a purpose. What is the purpose? Gopir Jana Pada Kamalar Das. Gopika Gopi, who is Gopi's Das? You know in Braj? Manjaris. गोपीर जन पद कमलर दास मंजरी उनके भी दास हमारे गुरुजन अनुदास. So the second meaning of that statement is Gopi's servant is Manjari, Manjari's servant is Gurujan, and I am their servant. This is second meaning. So without mercy of Guru, nobody crossed the material ocean. Tulsidas, I think, yeah. Tulsidas in Ramcharitmanas, he said for Lord Ram, but that bhav applied to everyone, and this is the last verse, and we're done. He said in Ramcharitmanas, Janama Janama Prabhu Jatana Karai Anta Samaya Prabhu Ram Ka Nahi Ai. Says जन्म जन्म प्रभु जी. आप कौन हो? Who are you? आप ऐसे हो कि आपकी भक्ति आप जन्म जन्म करवाते हो बट अंत में आते नहीं हो. How beautiful it is. You are making us worshipping you birth after birth, but still at the end of my life I have a question mark. Will I be able to remember you or not? So what is the solution? He himself asked a question, he himself answered. And this is, I purposefully want to end by this last verse because Guru is everything. 2 things, take away point, forget everything. Hare Krishna Mahamantra and Guru. If you hold these 2 things, that ungottable Radharani, that ungottable her bhav will be there for you 100%. This is not my guarantee. This is our Acharya's mood. What answer Tulsidas this is? We might have heard very nice. Bin Guru Kripa Bhava Sindhu Natare Chahe Swayam Virinchi Sambhu Hoi. कितनी अच्छी बात बोल रहे. बिन गुरु कृपा भव सिंधु न तरे कोई चाहे स्वयं विरिंची शंभु क्यों न हो. Without mercy of Guru, not even Brahma and Shivji can cross over. So correct time, curtain is closed. So I'm stopping here with the begging mood that whatever I have spoken, I simply heard and I repeat it here. I am not artificially humbling myself that I am nothing. No, I know something I heard and I read, but I don't know everything. And I'm trying my best. I'm also trying, but I'm not succeeded yet. And I need everyone, all of your pleasure and blessings. The reason I'm presenting this thing is for your pleasure. And the reason I'm presenting this all thing is for my lesson, my understanding. Because whatever I spoke first apply to me. And you please all grant your blessings to me so that I can perform what I spoke. Because I cannot turn back after going home whatever I spoke. That's a duality. So I beg, and if I spoke anything wrong, or if I spoke anything which you heard previously, which contradict, you can reject it. Srimati Radharani ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Anant Koti Vaishnavrind ki. Yes.
At the same time, you completely cheat. I'm talking to you. I'm serious. Because the reason is you don't speak the topic knowledge. But actually, it's very wonderful to us. To speak regularly. We can do it. He doesn't want us to go back to college. That's why he doesn't. I asked.
No, the only pain I'm avoiding to speak.
Especially when you mentioned about the action and doing. So you have now that thinking, and if you don't share it regularly, you have to know.
No, bro, simply repeat what I heard. So,
After you there, I won't take much time. There was a time which was actually drawing. Somebody was going to be moving around. The ant drowned and went back to the social. So maybe what is the qualification and if the government application that ant went back to God. I would say my policy is to get from that is the best part.
I thought we are here for a question answer. This is.
That's class. And not only the very perfect language, easy to understand. I mean, amazing program. No words to describe. Very wonderful.
Thank
There
you.
is a question of I'm asking.
No, it's not.
Oh, amazing class, your mood, your humility, which is very natural, it's not artificial. It just flows like, like Ganges. So, like Prabhu said, I mean, I'm so fortunate to know you so intimately and to associate with you. You are like, what to say, a diamond in the city that, doesn't want to shine. So, it's a good fortune to whoever arranged your class. Thanks to that. Mesmerizing to say the least, and towards the end, when it became very practical, it was very nice. Also, I just have one question regarding the tattva you mentioned. So you mentioned you kind of splitting the Radhini Shakti by Sandhini, Samvit, and Chlavini. So you were mentioning you quoted verses for who the Sandhini Shakti represent and the Samvit Shakti represent. So if you can go back to that question. So my understanding so far, whole Shakti, you also quoted a verse, Purna Shakti Srimati Radharani, and Shaktiman is Krishna. So
This is the most. Yes, bro.
is that the case? How come you're saying Vasudeva Krishna represents the Samvit Shakti and Balaram the Sandhini Shakti? Because the whole Shakti, because they are Shaktiman and them. And it will not be like a contradiction to say that, because the words, whatever you quoted, doesn't directly say that Vasudeva Krishna represents the Samvit Shakti.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
my understanding has been so far that Radharani represents the whole host of Shaktis. Of course, she is the personification of Radhini Shakti. And Radhini Shakti in itself accommodates both the Samvit and the Sandhi. Because Radhini Shakti is a maturity, just like Ananda is a maturity of Satyanjit. Just like Bhagavan already, as Krishna and his Bhagavan feature already include feature. So Radharani and Radhini feature already include. And so she represents the complete Shakti in her completeness. And understanding the lower Shakti are not complete. Lower Shakti is understanding the Shakti as the Sandhini and something not complete. That's been my understanding so far.
So let me see, Prabhu, if I correctly understand. So the question is, when I said that Samvit represent Balaram or Vasudeva Krishna, how can they represent? Because they are separate Shakti. Oh, they are themselves Shaktiman. Okay. Okay. So the point is, how can they themselves represent Krishna's expansion? Because they themselves are separate entity and Shaktiman entity, just like Vasudeva Krishna is one entity. Yes, Prabhu. So answer is easy, Prabhu, and then I'll share also screen my back. So they all are Shaktiman, just like Vishnu Tattva. Krishna also falls under Vishnu Tattva category. So when we talk about Vishnu Tattva, Prabhu, so Mahavishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, they are permanent entity. It's not like that when universe will go or like destroy, they will also destroy. They are permanent, but that's what I heard, and another devotees will get their opinion. They are permanent entity. They are Shaktiman, but this all Shakti and Shaktiman is coming from one fountainhead, which is Krishna. Now, Krishna has an aspect. In Krishna also, when we talk about Tattva, one word Krishna is a vague word. Vasudeva Krishna, Nandanandan Krishna, making sense when we enter in Tattva. Krishna is Krishna, Krishna, one Krishna. But when we talk about Tattva, Krishna is not only Krishna. Krishna is Nandanandan Krishna, Vasudeva Krishna, and like that. So I'll share my screen here, Prabhu. And then
Vasudeva Krishna Shaktiman between the and Balaram the
so let me share my screen back, Prabhu. I'll directly share the Veda base page here. No. It's okay. See this? Okay. So if you see here, Prabhu, this is chapter 20, Madhya Lila, discussion between Sanatana Goswami and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They were talking on almost all different aspects of Krishna's energy and everything. So there, verse number 152, if you see, and it's nice to understand also, Prabhu. Krishna has unlimited potencies, out of which three are chief: willpower, the power of knowledge, and the creative energy. So now we are talking about Shakti, not Shaktiman. This verse is talking about Shakti. So three Shakti: willpower, knowledge, and creative energy. Now next verse 153 is talking about who is that particular predominating deity, Shaktiman, who holds that Shakti. You got it? So this verse is the predominator of the willing potency is Lord Krishna, which is Nandanandan Krishna. How? Because further he says, for by his supreme will everything comes into existence. In willing, there is a need for knowledge, and that knowledge is expressed through Vasudeva Krishna. So who is possessing knowledge Shakti? Vasudeva Krishna. So Shakti is knowledge Shakti, but Shaktiman, predominating deity of that Shakti is Vasudeva Krishna. And so that's why Bhagavad Gita spoken by Vasudeva Krishna. But Vasudeva Krishna, Krishna's immediate first expansion is Balaramji. And from them, other expansions come. And that's why our Acharya explains that Samvit Shakti represents Balaramji. Because of this knowledge aspect of it.
Is it like Samvit Shakti is possessed by Vasudeva, or is it represented?
That I refer to few other devotees. So whose question is, Samvit Shakti is presented by Vasudeva Krishna or possessed by Vasudeva Krishna? Any devotees have proper answer? Prabhu,
Yeah, I was saying that Vasudeva Krishna is Vasudeva Krishna possessing because of the Shaktiman, is possessing this Samvit Shakti, or is it represented by Vasudeva Krishna representing Samvit Shakti, or is it a possessor of Samvit?
and if he's possessor, it means he's Shaktiman. He holds, he owns that Shakti. Yeah.
So once the computer destroyed, then we class assignment. So the professor come, there is some program division.
So they are possessor. Yes, great. Okay. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Sir. No, I think we have. No, we don't have anything. No question. So again, in Brahma Vaivat Puran Prabhu, it is mentioned in the same khand that we talk about Kalpa. One Kalpa, Brahmaji's life. Kalpa also is a part Prabhu. Kalpa is a 3 category. Varaha Kalpa, Brahma Kalpa, and Purushottam Kalpa. Purushottam or Purush Kalpa. These again, this is beyond even my understanding also. But we have 3 Kalpas. So particularly in the Varaha Kalpa, this pastime happened, where Krishna went to see Virja, another gopi, and Radharani come to know that Krishna is in Virja's Mahal. This is what Garga Brahma Vaivat Puran mentioned. So out of become Manini, a transcendental sulkiness, she become angry. And how can Krishna go with some other woman other than me? Again, this affair is not something like regular material affair. This is all transcendental. But he says, how can that happen? So he says, she consider in her mind, I will destroy everyone. How can Krishna go someone else other than me? Like that. So in anger, she went to talk to Virja. But at the gate, this is what in Puran mentioned. At the gate, Sridham was gatekeeping the gate. And he stopped Radharani. He says, why you are so such angry? Calm down your anger. This doesn't suit on you. And he talked, but Radharani was on anger. So first he cursed that you're talking like a demon. So you become demon. So then in return, not Sank later becomes Sridham says, oh, I can also give curse. And then he says, you do this like this way. Now the question comes, how come these things happen in spiritual world? This is called, our Acharya explains, Daiva Netrena. These all things happen by the will of Krishna. Radharani's anger is not ordinary anger of Kamesa, Krodesa, Rajoguna, Samudbhava, or not in anger of Kama Bhavati, Krodha, Bhavati, some more kind of anger. Her anger is transcendental. And now more beautiful is, after she cursed, what happened, when she approached back to Krishna, which I was describing, one slope which I didn't put, she was crying. And she was repenting, why I did that. I should have not done this. So she was crying, and Krishna, it's my bad. And then when Krishna approached to Sridham, he says, now you go and become as a demon. Then Radharani went and he says, my child, where are you going without me? Who can understand this? So first you are cursing and now you are showing compassion. So this is called like beyond my intelligence. But this is happening in Varaha Kalpa, as per the timing calculation of Brahma Vaivat Puran. Looking for blessings. Okay. Okay, so I think thank you everyone, and thank you for giving me opportunity. Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai.